Billionaire Robert Johnson recently got an honorary degree from Morehouse College down in Atlanta. It's an all-male school, HBCU, historically black college. He got an honorary doctorate, and he made a statement that was profound to me. He was like, "I'm your classmate. I'm one of y'all." And so me and my family are starting a grant to pay off everyone's student loans. And it's $40 million.
Wow, man.
He's a billionaire.
Yeah.
Mr. Johnson, my name is Rodney. I am a 2010 graduate of Clemson University. I have thousands of dollars in student loans. I'm your brother. Help me out. Guys, what do you think?
Okay, so I've known who Robert Johnson is for a couple years now. I know he's like a philanthropist and a big-time investor. I've always asked the question, like, does he give back? Because even though he's a philanthropist, like, I've never really seen anything that he's done.
Well, he's given $5 million to the African American Museum in DC before they got built.
Yeah, and I didn't know that.
Yeah.
But what he did today answers that question.
Right.
And like there's nothing else to say other than like that's a big time move. So congratulations to that 2019 class who just got all their student loans wiped out. Definitely make good use of your newfound fortune, and that was just big time. You know, big ups to Mr. Johnson on that.
The first thing I want to say is I wish Mr. Johnson was a Gardner Webb alumni, and I wish he was around near 2002. But anyway,
2000 you old as hell.
Yeah, I am. We established that. But I know Mr. Johnson from being mentioned, you know, before the purchase of Mr. Tepper. But I remember Mr. Johnson from being mentioned with possible ownership of the Carolina Panthers. I didn't know a lot about him, but I had the same questions Vince had as far as philanthropy is concerned. And for him to reward those graduates like that in that way it's unheard of. It's not anything I've ever seen from anyone before. I've literally never heard of anything of anybody doing like that. Like that's a
blessing.
It's crazy that you can sit here and you're graduating and you hear someone's speech and it's directed towards you and you're just like, oh man, these words are kind. But when somebody does something like this, they truly care. Mm-hmm. Like they truly care about your life after school. They truly know the challenges that comes with having mountains of debt when you come out of college. This is a very real life thing for a lot of people that hinders a lot of people. So my hat goes off to Mr. Johnson in a big way, man. That is a truly awesome thing to do, and hopefully maybe more billionaires will follow suit. I doubt it.
I think it will.
I will see.
A few others will.
It's just really good to see that greed doesn't win for once, man.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
And another reason why this is so big to me, I'm going into my nerd mode. So it jumps into the wealth piece to me. African American wealth in this country is $1,700 all liquid, everything. And that's the lowest in the country. So typically, we're saddled with more student loans because we don't have access to. We were effectively shut out of basically getting money off of housing through redlining.
Generational wealth.
Yeah, generational wealth, basically.
Generational wealth. Yeah.
And so this is a big step for these guys to get their student loans paid off because they're not saddled with this debt where as though they can't buy a house soon, and then they have to worry about this because. Honestly, student loans is going to be with you for the rest of your life, and the interest grows every year. Next thing you wake up one morning and the balance is higher than it was 2 years ago.
Right.
I've been there.
And to caveat out for that, in the grand scheme of things, this is a beautiful thing, no matter what. But just imagine how it affects each student individually. Mm-hmm. And I'm just going to throw a degree program out there. I'm not really trying to shit on it. But like, let's say you majored in art, right? You might have $10,000 in student loans, and that's still a lot coming fresh out of college.
Right.
But if you became a doctor, you got about $80,000, $90,000, $100,000 in student loan. So just think how much more excited at person.
Yeah, right.
So that like I'm looking at it more so as far as the ones who came out with those higher numbers. And with me being a real estate agent, one of the biggest problems I see, people not being able to buy a house, student loans. Student loans.
Yeah.
That is the number one killer that I've seen personally that has kept people from buying a home.
Yeah.
And for someone to do that, listen, we haven't seen any video or anything like that. But if I'm sitting in a graduation ceremony and whoever is speaking goes up there and says, "Hey, I'm paying everybody's student loans," I'm breaking all types of protocol.
No, who you
I'm running on that stage.
Right.
I'm running on that. I know, right? It was like when it was when Magic hugged Kareem, like his first lady's name, and Kareem was like, "Look, don't do that again."
Right.
Hey.
Like
Mr. Johnson.
like Drake hugged star basketball players. Like, I'm hugging them like that.
Oh man, but hey, real talk. Hey, big ups to Mr. Johnson again, and good stuff on that.
Yeah.
Drake, stay the hell away from Dabo. Please stay away from Dabo. We do not need that. All right, so we're going to segue to our final
Clemson
topic.
needs you, Drake. Clemson really needs you.
Florida State needs you. Florida's beautiful. Florida's hot. Go to Florida.